We got new music.
Did we license this?
I like it.
Hello, and welcome to
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, Henny.
with your hosts, Shannon,
You want a beautifully painted stool for your balls?
Sally,
I'm having me a little Malibu Boo and Diet Coke.
and Andy.
She turned into Sandra Clark from 227. She was
Featuring Shiloh,
I'm not menopausal, but I'm hot all the time.
Eva,
When I run into that cell rat girl.
and Adrian.
You got a wiener former.
Wow, we have groovy music for episode
We have new
5.
music.
Hell
I
yeah.
love it.
my game this week.
Our production guy actually did something this
He
week. right?
finally
I
did
did.
something. Yeah.
Oh my God! Let's.
Now I gotta find those buttons again.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
We should start a GoFundMe to get you a board.
We
Yes,
should.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. We'll work on that. So, happy episode 5, kids. Can you believe
Hello. 5 is alive.
Oh, we'll see. We might be dead after this one, but
Yeah.
yeah. So welcome to our all 3 listeners that are listening today. So appreciate you guys coming back and getting more traumatized from our podcasts. So we're very lucky to have a guest with us today, a guest co-host. And you'll notice that I am dressed a little differently than usual. I've got my glasses on, little buttoned up. I want to look a little more intelligent because we have a published author with us today. So I want to look the part while we try and act smart. So I usually don't wear glasses, but I am
He
today.
didn't tell anybody that he was going to go for the super professional look
Yeah.
tonight.
I
Or
didn't.
Andy and I
It's a
could have
surprise.
stepped up our game. So. It was a low blow, is what it was, but that's okay.
Sorry, kids. So welcome to the show, Kevin Jones. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, y'all. This is so much fun to be with each of you.
Hey, Kevin.
Well, you say that now, Kevin, but after an hour,
Yeah.
you might be really tired of us. But just to clarify for all of our 6 listeners, you are not related to co-host Andy Jones. You just happen to share the last name. Is that correct?
Not that we know of, right, Andy?
Not
Okay.
that we know of.
Okay.
But
You're not
He didn't
married.
claim him anyway.
You
Yeah.
never know.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know.
Just want to make sure. I didn't know if this was nepotism at its finest, where
No.
our co-hosts are coming because they're related, because I don't want to bring in all my family if I have to.
Ah.
I know Sally Ann doesn't want to either. So
No.
we're just checking where the guidelines
I'm a
are
little
here.
long in the tooth to be a Nepo baby anyway. So
Welcome to the club. We all are.
Shannon, you just took a sip. That's a great lead in. So what are we drinking
yeah.
tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I will tell you, I am drinking a.
Let me guess.
What does
Tito's
the-
and soda.
What does
The
the
cult- what does
nutri-
the
the
cult
nu-
allow?
What does the nutrition cult allow? Tito's. And soda.
Tito's.
Mhm.
However, I have spiced it up a bit with a little bit of Andy with a touch of cranberry. That's what Andy
Oh,
likes. So I
nice.
have a touch of cranberry.
Right.
So it's got a little color, so a little more flavor. I'm trying to
Yeah.
shake things up a bit. Right?
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
but now I am drinking out of the glass. I know we talked about our glass. This one says Mickey's. Now it says Mickey's, but I think it's not the Mickey's where
Yeah.
we used to frequent on weekends down in the neighborhood. I think
Yeah.
I just happen to have Mickey's, but it is reminiscent of those good old days, bygone.
Mhm.
down
Where
in
was
Cedar
Mickey's?
Springs. It's where Streets Fried Chicken is now, or on that corner
Oh
there.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Somewhere it's in
Across
in that shopping center.
Yeah.
across from TM.
Across from
Across the street.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Across that side street. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
going.
Yes.
Yeah. Across from the fire station. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we were known to go there a little bit. So I pulled this out. I was like, oh, this little
Oh,
reminiscent.
Mickey.
Yeah.
Aw.
What are you having to drink, Sally Ann?
I am having, I had this before. It's a little mixer that's grapefruit and pomegranate with some mandarin vodka and a splash of ginger ale and a
Wow.
lime. And I'm drinking out of my 70s Mafia cup. I think I told
Nice.
you. My friend Gina, her husband refers to her little group of friends as the 70s Mafia. I'm a member,
Nice.
and
Nice.
Beth got us these a few years ago when we went to visit her. So I'm getting
Nice.
turned around. So
Those are
70s
cute.
Mafia, and it's got a little paw print because we all went to Mississippi State, the Bulldogs, the Maroon, it's all.
Cool.
Mm.
So
Nice.
that's what I'm having. What about you, Candy Beth?
Well, I'm drinking out of my. By the way,
It's not MS?
nope,
You got this?
You got this.
You got this. Okay, yeah.
And
What do you got?
I'll tell you what I got.
Oh, set up.
Shannon.
I made up my own little concoction tonight, which I'm very proud of.
Okay.
It is like 5 or 6 ice cubes, some Topo Chico,
Okay.
lime juice, honeydew, and cucumber, and I blended it together and made and Tito's, and I blended it together.
It's like there's no
I was gonna
alcohol.
say, was there?
So there's Tito's, and I
Okay.
blended it together and made a little refreshing smoothie.
I like it.
Honeydew in a
It's-
smoothie. That's new.
Honeydew and cucumber.
Okay.
It's really good too.
Is it refreshing?
It is.
It makes you think
refreshing.
you're doing something kind of healthy, I
I would-
think.
yeah.
I'm gonna just go right
Okay.
into this. I have a question, Shannon, for you
Oh,
from a listener. The listener's name is Christy, my sister, but she's a longtime listener, big fan.
hi,
Oh, that's-
Christy.
And she wants to know how many tattoos you do have.
Oh, okay.
There he is.
Welcome back, Kevin.
Hi, everyone.
You're making me dizzy.
Technical difficulties have been resolved. Thank you for standing by.
The fact that it's taken you that long to count, Shannon, concerns me.
Seven.
Seven
Seven.
tats. Okay,
Seven
there you go,
tattoos.
Christy. 7 tats.
Okay,
Yes.
well, let's back up a sec. Kev, we already said what we're drinking tonight. What do you
Oh
have?
yeah, what are you drinking, Kevin?
I am so excited because I could not see y'all, so I have my drink right here.
Ooh, that's
It's
pretty,
okay.
Kevin.
That's
It's
pretty.
thank you. It's a slow gin. Oh gosh.
Oh, slow gin
am-
fizz.
Am I slim? God, this is like unflattering, isn't it? I got a second in my stomach. Slow gin fizz. So
Wow.
it's got gin, slow gin, lemon juice, and simple syrup. Slow
That's
gin.
old school, isn't it? A
That
slow
sounds
gin
It's
very
fizz,
super
good.
old
yeah.
school. It's like little berries from England.
I like
that they
it.
ferment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank
Isn't
you.
isn't that very southern also, a slow gin fizz? It sounds like it is.
Yeah.
Why
Okay.
it is.
Yeah.
There you
More
go.
southern when you
Like you should
when
be
you
on
put
a
some mint julep in it.
Yeah.
You should be on your porch in the swing, just swinging back.
Well,
Drinking
hang
your
on,
slow
I'll just
gin
see
fizz.
if Big
With a
Daddy's
big
out there, I'll
fan.
join.
With a big fan.
Big
Big
Daddy.
Daddy.
Big Daddy and Big Mama. Too funny.
So that's what I'm drinking. That's what I drink almost every
Ah,
night. It's sort of my new thing, and I love it. Maybe more than wine, but not right now.
That's what
When
I
you're-
drink for breakfast.
When you're exhausted of busting that corporate ceiling, Kevin, those you come home and that's what you
Right.
drink. Yeah.
Yeah,
Slow
I
gin
bust
fizz.
balls all day, and then I bust the corporate ceiling with the gin. Yeah, there you go.
he's got a lot going on.
All right.
Oh, that's too funny.
But yeah, I think I'm all better now, everybody. I think I've got all the technology fixed. I had to have a
Awesome.
little talk with my husband, but I think we're good now. So
Is
don't
he
tell
is he
him.
your tech support?
No, I think he was the one causing the problem. But we've been together 24 years, so he's got to stick
Simon,
with
it's
it now.
Simon, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it
Yeah,
Simon?
Simon.
Come on,
Simon.
Simon.
Come
he's,
on,
he's
man.
British. I call him my war bride. He moved back here with me from England.
That's funny.
Poor Brad. I love
So,
it.
what did everyone do this weekend?
I just had a normal weekend. I went to church. I had some errands. I enjoyed the weather. I went to a patio last night, had a little Tex-Mex and a couple of beers, and
Nice.
yeah, just a good, nothing major, but a good weekend.
Cool.
How about you? Somebody?
I, you noticed anything?
You're in New York.
Somebody got new glasses.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Get closer. Let's see. Nice.
I picked them up.
They
Saturday.
fancy. Oh, they're Tom Ford, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, fancy.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fancy.
I picked them up on Saturday, and then I could actually read.
What'd you do, Shannon?
Well,
I know y'all went for a walk. I went for a walk Saturday morning. It was so nice. I know y'all went for a walk. I saw that on
we
Facebook,
did
and then you
four,
cooked
4
breakfast.
miles. I know, 4
Were there
miles in
any
the morning.
moms with strollers on the Katy Trail?
Everywhere, everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. And we just went tonight before the podcast. It was like the floodgates had opened up, and everybody in Dallas wanted to walk on the
Mhm.
Katy Trail.
Well,
Everyone,
we know, yeah. Yeah,
everyone.
I mean, we don't
Dogs,
get a lot of,
bikes,
yeah, we don't get,
strollers.
Everybody.
it's going to get hot, and it's not going to be nice anymore. So,
Mhm.
And the rest of my weekend was softball related, so I won't steal Shiloh's sports ball
Thunder with
update.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Saturday, Sunday, softball. So as you can probably guess, I'm really sore today after softball yesterday. So Kevin, what about you? What did you do this weekend?
He's working in his,
You still working?
Kevin,
Kevin.
well, Kevy.
Yes, hi. I'm gonna touch the man behind the curtain. I have no idea what's going on.
Worst.
Neither do
guest-
we.
Worst.
What'd you do this
ever.
weekend?
We do what we do almost every weekend, which is go find some new crap at Home Depot.
Oh,
We did
yeah.
that.
Oh, you're crafty gays. I
Oh,
see.
yeah, very, very butch, if you can't tell. Yeah, I like looking around and getting new tools. Yeah, so did that and went and had. Get ready for this. We had Tex-Mex for lunch one day.
Shocking. Mhm.
Shocker.
God.
Super exciting, fun weekend. Yeah, and took the dogs for a nice walk, so that was good. Always enjoy that.
Was it a
Crazy
walk on?
Boston Terriers?
Was it a walk on the Katy Trail?
No, we went to White Rock
Okay,
Lake.
good. Okay,
So,
good.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can't.
I bet White Rock was just as crowded as the Katy Trail, though.
Yeah.
White Rock, I swear, I don't know if any of your listeners are the Mumsy Lakewood ladies, but if they are, I'm about to offend every one of them. If I see any more Lululemon this weekend, I think I
Oh.
was going to have
Oh.
a fit.
And this has not been an overt segment, but it should be. Yoga pants are not for everyone. Can we just?
They're
I
not.
don't. I don't care if they're. I don't care if they're from Lululemon. It doesn't matter. Not
So,
everyone.
and
No,
here's
the
the thing.
pandemic totally skewed. I'm so sorry.
And
Go ahead.
here's
Yeah.
the thing with that is like it's really bad. I feel like when you travel because people are like, oh, I just want to be comfortable. I'm just going to wear yoga
No.
pants. And I was flying somewhere, and I was like, 75% of the women in the lounge area had on yoga pants, and 90% of them shouldn't have. So it's like if I can see
No.
anything, and you don't need to be wearing them. So that's just
I say bring back girdles for men and women.
you can. I mean, you can not wear yoga pants or pajama bottoms and still be comfortable and stylish at the airport. Like joggers
Amen.
are awesome right now, and they're very stylish and cute, and they can be comfortable. So even if you're going on a long flight, you can be comfortable. You don't have to wear pajama bottoms in public if you're an adult. That should be one of my overs.
And I've
Like,
noticed. I don't know if I didn't notice this before, but the yoga pants and then the crop tops.
the
They're
crop
like all the.
top.
I'm
Oh,
like,
If you're
boy.
wearing
Not
yoga
every-
pants,
not every girl should
wear
wear
a
crop
longer
tops.
top. You need a
Mhm.
longer top if you're wearing yoga pants. That's if
Have
you're
y'all talked
wearing.
about slippers in public as well? House shoes?
No, but that's another one. That's another one. That goes right along with those three. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're grown
Yeah.
up.
Hate
And if
them.
you're going to wear sandals or flip flops, make sure your
Mhm.
feet are
Manicure,
camera ready. Yes.
Yep. Camera
Yes.
ready.
Gross.
Yeah. Acceptable for public viewing. So
Time to drink.
I don't know what for, but okay.
Okay.
Hmm?
What is that sound?
Excuse me.
What's this?
Oh, okay.
So you have to drink again.
I'm down with that. I feel good here.
Hope you got a lot of slow gin, Kev. Hope you got a
Yep.
lot of slow gin in that bottle.
Well, let's see. This should get me through the
Oh,
hour.
Lord.
You should be fine. Yeah, you should be fine. All right. Let's move into our regular segments. Over it and obsessed with it. And I think we're going to start with our special guest, Kevin.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you prepped for this, Kevin? Are you aware of our segments?
I have. Andy was so kind to help me prep for that, and I really had a tough time narrowing down what I'm over because the list is super long.
That's what
Well-
he goes. He goes. I have a list. I'm like, he's Sally Ann.
Oh, believe me, I have a list.
I'm a Virgo. I love lists.
So let's start with the over it. We'll go ahead and start with over it, Kevin. What are you one top 10, whatever you want to give us? You're the guest.
So I'm very involved on LinkedIn. I like to post things. I like to share my thoughts.
You're one of those.
I'm one of those.
I'm about to connect with you on LinkedIn.
Yes, connect with me on LinkedIn, everyone. Follow me. What I am over is people connecting with me on LinkedIn and then direct messaging me and saying, "Hey, Daddy."
No, no way.
It
What?
happened
So
twice.
LinkedIn is now a hookup site.
Especially it hurts because I'm just so used to being a twink, and I clearly not anymore.
I'm just offended that no one has ever hit on me on LinkedIn. Wow. Kevin, but what is your profile picture that you get these "Hey Daddy"
I'm a little
messages?
disappointed.
I mean, is it a shirtless post by the beach, or is it like a professional headshot?
It's what's on your book, right?
It's
Oh.
not my book, but I mean, it's the other one is there too. I mean, the other one's a thong, but I don't see what difference.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Wow. How,
put it back in the book.
now they connected you like they want to
I
be a
just
connection.
connected with him.
Do you
yeah.
know them and then they send you this, or just random people?
No, that's the
Oh,
crazy thing. It's just random people from all over the world. And I mean, I get like somebody reads the book, they make a recommendation, they read the book, and they're like, "Oh, I want to connect with you. Thank you."
But you
I love
talk about Simon a lot in there.
a
Yeah.
lot. It's on the back of the book. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like I'm married, and I'm not your daddy, and the quasi insinuation is a little bit creepy anyway. So yeah, but if I decided to go that route at some point in the future, it's good to know I've got a following.
Still got
That's
it.
amazing. I did not know LinkedIn was now a dating
I know it.
site. That's,
Ugh.
I mean, if you're looking for professional.
Tinder, yeah. I mean, swipe left on LinkedIn. Who knew?
So when they do that, do you unconnect with them, or do you?
I give them.
Do you tease them a little bit, like? Hey,
I do some little giggles and half turns, and I take a little moment to say I don't believe this is the right format, the right sort of setup for this. I give them another chance, and usually they're gracious and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, and the irony of writing a book about advancing in corporate America and somebody wanting to call me daddy. So no, thank you for asking that. I usually give them a second chance, and then if they keep on, I'm kind of like, yeah, block.
Yeah. Do you say, "Well, you can find me over on Tinder. Here's my,"
You can
because it's
find
more
on Tinder.
appropriate there.
Yeah, I'm on Tinder, and the daddy profile's on Scruff, so you can look there if you need to. But
Daddy profile.
Noted. Well, that is a good one. That is an interesting.
That is a good one.
thank
Wow.
you.
That's awesome.
I'm sad no one's ever hit on me on LinkedIn, but that's okay.
Same.
I
Same,
know.
Shannon.
I
Yeah.
know.
It is a mixed emotion, I'll tell you. So I'll give you
Mixed
positive
emotion.
vibes. It'll happen to you very soon. I'm sure it will.
Okay.
I need a better picture. I need one like the back of your book. So,
Right.
Sally, and what are you over? I know.
Well, I mean,
I know there's always many things, but today
there's many. And today we've already talked about it. I was going to state the obvious and talk about the fact that it was 92 degrees in February today, because I am over that, but that's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
What I am over is waiting for people to back into parking spots.
Same.
Yes.
Hashtag say yes.
You are welcome to back into a parking spot, but do it quickly. If you've got to spend 10 minutes backing into a parking spot, I'm running late. I just need to get around you. Get in the spot and get out of your car.
Or when
Or
they
your truck.
Do
when they
that?
back
What are we
into one
offended?
that's at an
It's
angle.
mostly true. Do what?
When they're back into one that's at an angle.
Oh, good Lord. And then they're going in the wrong direction.
Exactly.
Yeah, then they're going in the wrong direction. And people who drive trucks do it a lot. And the thing about
Yes.
that is also if you're if you're backing your truck up to the curb where the sidewalk is, and you go all the way back to where your tires touch the curb, then
Mhm.
somebody like Andy can't get by because the bed of your truck is covering the sidewalk.
Yes.
So just
Yes.
pull into a parking spot.
Yep.
That's
Or,
there you
or
go.
don't drive those big ass trucks, which are ugly anyway. I mean, come on. Who
Hello.
really needs a truck that's big? That's
Yeah.
those huge ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, you
In-
know,
in
but
town,
yeah,
no.
it's the waiting for people to back in. It's like I know you've got nothing better to do, so you're just going to sit here while I go back and forth and back and forth. And they say it's easier to get out if there's an emergency. Well, if it takes you that long to park, yeah, it is easier for you to get out if there's
Where
an
were you
emergency.
recently triggered by that?
I'm triggered by that daily, honestly. It seems like,
Yeah.
but I think it happened the other
Yeah.
night when Andy and I went to the play. I think it
Mhm.
happened. I think I had to wait on somebody. I can't
Yeah.
remember
Mm.
though,
Yes.
but it
Mm.
almost anywhere I go, I'm like, oh, they're fixing to back in because here I am. So let me
Yeah.
just put my car in park and wait on it. So
That is a good one. That is a daily
it's
daily
daily.
one.
It's
It's
daily.
all the time.
Yep.
Oh, hate it. All right, Andy, what do you
And
over?
Eva agreed with
Oh.
me too, I think.
I
Yes.
am over. I know it's early because we have to deliver. I'm over all these flipping political ads. I get texts,
Oh.
I get phone calls. They're on television. They're in the mail. They're everywhere. I'm sick of it.
We got another, what, 8 months of
Yeah,
that? So
yeah. I'm just done.
The text messages seem a lot more frequent than
I'm
live.
getting text
yes.
messages all the time, and I'm like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
Get
I
out of
mean,
my face.
I mean,
Yep.
I feel like I'm best friends with Colin Aldred. I mean, I like the
I
guy, but
know.
I mean, I get more texts from him than I do my mother. I'm like, come on, dude, what's happening? We're not
Yeah.
dating or anything.
If you start annoying me, I'm less likely to vote for you anyway.
Yeah.
So calm down.
And he calls me friend and all these things.
Yeah.
Hey,
I got
friend.
one from somebody that they started with howdy. It was like howdy.
There
I'm
you
like,
go. There you go.
what? Just because we live in Texas, howdy.
Like
Howdy.
shortcut,
Yes.
just stop.
I know,
Yeah,
that's
stop.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
stop. Just stop. Yeah.
So that's what I'm sick of. I'm over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you, Shannon?
What about you, Shannon?
So mine is kind of I'm over two things, but it's really one major thing is I am over former supermodels who think they should be pop stars. Let me give you the scenario. There's a new song. There's a new song out by Heidi Klum, and she
Oh.
has covered Sunglasses at Night. And it is the most god awful piece of music
Seriously?
garbage. Yes. And she doesn't even sing the verses. She just repeats the chorus over and over and over with the
Wonder who told her that was a good idea.
I don't know, but they should stop doing it. I mean, she even starts the song with, okay, everyone get your sunglasses out. And she giggles. I'm like, no, this is so wrong.
Oh
Why?
my gosh.
Leave the song alone. And the other part of this is don't remake good songs. That was a classic song. Corey Hart did it best.
Mhm.
The guy's a Canadian. Leave him alone. He's made his millions. But no more. I mean, Tyra Banks tried it. Naomi Campbell tried
Yeah.
it. Lindsay Lohan tried it. I know she's an actress. And Paris Hilton tried it. She did okay with one or two songs. That's going to trigger Eva here in a minute because he loves Paris Hilton. But don't. Just stop doing it. Leave it to the professionals and stop trying to record music. It's stupid. So
I agree
I'm
with
over
you.
that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And I listen to Pride Radio and iHeartMedia. So hey, iHeartMedia, if you want to sponsor us.
Shut
And
up.
they play it all the time. I'm like, come on, gays, you got better music taste than why are we listening to Heidi Klum? Right? I don't get it. So that's what I'm over this week.
Mhm.
So if you want to hear a terrible song, please go to Amazon Music and listen to Sunglasses at Night by Heidi Klum. Okay. What are we obsessed with? Kev, what are you obsessed with?
It has to do with the Container Store. It takes Container Store wants to do any sponsorship. I am obsessed with the language that the Container Store employees use to upsell you. Ever been there? It is amazing. They don't ever say, do you want to buy also X, Y, or Z? They say, like I'm walking, we were there last weekend. That's what we did as well. We had Tex-Mex, we went for a walk at the lake, and we went to the Container Store with Simon Hayes. So we are walking around there, and I've got some gift wrap. And the woman just walks by. She's like this woman with a container store, and she goes, "Oh, love that gift wrap. How's your tape situation?"
How's your paint?
Hey,
Oh, tape.
Just
I didn't know
without
you-
skip or
do you-
beat.
do you have a tape situation? What exactly?
I worry now that I do.
Do y'all have a wrapping room?
Yes.
Do you have a wrapping room?
I do have a wrapping room. Yes, I do. So
I
she
wish I
might have
had
been on
room for one.
She might have been on to something, and I am a pop star. So if anybody doesn't know what that is, it's like your loyalty program, the Container Store. The other thing they said to me, and here's the thing, so listen to this. And that's why I'm so into it. It's like the language they use. It's so folksy. So we were also getting a new laundry basket. Another woman walks by and she goes, "Oh, I love that laundry basket. Is this the day you treat yourself to some new wooden hangers?"
No.
They
I'm
are
like,
good.
Now it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
They
yeah.
are good. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So the
I want-
upsell. Yeah.
I want to go just for that.
I know. Just listening to the way they do it, it's so smooth.
I will say, you said you were getting wrapping paper there. Their ribbon is great.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Okay.
I mean, it's paper source to shame.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Their ribbon is, their ribbon
Yeah.
is.
Their
Well,
Christmas-
so.
they're good.
Christmas
They're good.
paper used to be great too.
So Container Store, if you want to sponsor us, we're fans.
Yep.
But
So.
we've lost paper source things to get.
Shut down the paper source, but
That's okay.
all eggs in one basket with the Container Store.
That's okay. That's okay. Container store is better. Yeah. Wow. Well,
And wooden
Sally Ann,
hangers.
Sally Ann, are those? I mean, in your part time, you're upselling, right? In your
I'm a
part-time job?
little retail girl. So
Are there some
I-
opportunities for you to change your language? Like, hey, how's your skirt situation? I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I will suggest sometimes things that might go with something, but I will also, if you ask me, you know, what do you think about this top with this? Because one of the other ladies laughed at me one time because the lady was like, "What do you think about this skirt with, you know, this top?" And I was like, "Well, I wouldn't wear it together."
There you go.
But it was true. I mean, I don't know what she was thinking. So anyway, but yeah, there are probably some better opportunities for me to upsell, but you know, they get my charming personality. That's enough, right?
Well, I'm gonna have to visit the Container Store. It's been a minute since I've
Me
been there,
too.
but now I'm intrigued. I
I
mean,
actually almost
totally.
went last week because I was wrapping a gift and I needed some new ribbon. I was out of the color I needed. So
There you go. I mean, I don't know, half an hour minimum to pick ribbon. That's me.
yeah. Okay.
wow. Okay, what are you obsessed with, Sally Ann?
A while back, I live in this townhouse. It's 3 stories. It's all, this floor is really open and stuff. And a while I had, I don't want to say it out loud, that Amazon speaker thing, because if
Mhm.
she hears her name, she'll think I'm
Mhm.
talking to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had one here in my office and then upstairs, like in the bedroom. And back, I guess it was maybe like on Prime Day, they had them on special for like $25 or something. And so I have 6 throughout my house now, and they're all connected. So I've got music the same music in every room all the time. And I realized today, like, it's just so nice. Like, I do it every day. I'm like, I tell her to play a station, and I'm like, play it everywhere. And so if I go downstairs, it's the same music. If I'm in the bathroom, it's the same music. If I'm in the kitchen, it's the same music. It's like,
It's like you're at the club. I mean,
yeah,
music
I
just
highly
comes
recommend.
throughout
Like,
the
I highly,
house.
if you like music, I highly recommend doing it. You know, it's like surround sound without paying for surround sound. It's like
Yeah.
surround sound for $125. You know,
I've never
so.
done that. I didn't know you could do that. Just play it on all of the devices.
Yes, you can play it. Yes, you can sync them all up. And so it's the same music playing everywhere. So
So it's just
very
a series
nice.
of ALEXAs around the house?
Uh-huh. I have 6 of them.
Wow.
And they each have a name, and then you can create groups. Like, so this floor is the 2nd floor. And so I have 1, 2, 3 on this floor, and I have them connected. So I can say, hey, just play music on the 2nd floor, and she will. But then I have another one where I'm like, play it everywhere. And
Cool.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And the government is collecting everything you say.
They're good. They're good. I'm pretty boring, I think. So, you know. So, but
That's
yeah,
awesome.
no,
I'm gonna
no,
try
they're
that out.
listening to they're listening to everything, but I highly recommend it if you have more than one. It's so nice.
FBI, if
and
you
I-
back in backwards in your truck, don't get too mad at her.
yeah, right. So yeah, I realized today I'm a little obsessed with it because every morning when I get home from the gym, that's what I do. Or actually before I go to the gym, because I like to leave music on for my little roommate, the one I
Mhm.
can't name,
Mhm.
the sweetest little baby boy. I leave him music on when I get up. I just turn it on.
Nice.
Yes, yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
So who's next? What are you obsessed with,
Eh,
Shannon?
Oh, me. Okay. So I don't know who turned me on to the show, if it was Andy or Eva or somebody else. The Traders on Peacock.
Oh, I've been watching it. Yeah.
Okay.
I watched
So-
first season.
So I'm on the second season. I didn't watch the first season, which I love the show. We're watching it. But what I'm obsessed with on the show are Alan Cummings outfits.
Outfits.
Unfreaking
Yes.
believable. Kev,
Sally,
are you watching the Traders, Kev?
I just read it down because I'm not. So now
I watched.
Okay.
I started with the first season.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
like, I'm gay and I love it, and I'm wearing all this plaid and
It's a Scottish,
in
Scottish
many different
castle, right?
ways.
Is it a Scottish
Yes.
castle?
Yeah.
He's got kilts, he's got headdresses, he's got
fabulous.
feathers, he's got bows, he's got. I mean, it's like I
It's
watch it. I'm like,
fabulous.
I just want to watch Alan in his outfits. It's the best ever, right?
So
Best ever.
Sally and I are going to see him next week.
We
Oh,
are.
awesome!
Yeah.
I hope he wears one of those outfits because
Yeah.
I know.
is it
So, yeah,
stand
I'm
up?
excited.
What's he doing?
He's doing just a one-man show. It's doing pre-Broadway tryouts, and he's going to open in New York. I'm not sure when, but he's taking
Well,
it
yeah,
to
we're
Broadway.
going next week. Next
Yep.
next Friday, I
Friday.
think. So
Mhm.
And what makes the outfits even better is he is so dramatic and so
he comes
very-
in.
Yes.
I mean, it's such every entrance, and it's all just unbelievable.
But it's the
So,
plaid pants and the plaid scarf and the hat,
I-
all the
I
things.
want
plaid,
all of
just,
them.
oh,
I don't
it's
know where I would.
fabulous.
I don't know where I would wear any of them, but I.
You
want
could pull
all
it
of
off though,
them.
Shannon. You could pull
You
it off
think?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could wear that to work.
Totally.
I don't know if the corporate closet is prepared for me in a kilt and a
Well, you
ruffled
could go.
blouse.
You actually, Shannon. They could be. You could tell them to imagine what can be,
That's right.
unburdened of what has been.
You
Not
know,
to-
I love that. I love, what do they call you? SAP? I love that
Yeah.
SAP. And what I also, you could actually say, this is what's in my corporate closet.
Right.
Ah.
Or my what if statement is, what if I wear a kilt to work? What is
There you go.
That's my
Mhm.
what if statement at the end, right? But anyway, I mean, I love those outfits. When you watch Bridgerton and they have the top hats and all
Yeah.
the vests, and I'm always telling
Yeah.
my other half that I
Yeah,
can't
Timmy.
name.
Yeah.
And he's always like, "You want to wear that outfit, don't you?" I was like, "I would so wear that outfit every day. I just love all the pomp and circumstance." So, I mean, that's the kind of gay I am. So, anyway, that's
Do you follow Alan Cumming on Instagram?
I don't, but now
Oh, I
need to.
should. I'm doing it now.
Yeah, I bet he has some great clothes on there.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Oh,
betting
yeah.
he does.
Uh-oh. Taylor Swift's dad accused of assaulting a photographer. That's breaking
no.
news.
Breaking
no.
news.
Tay, we
Yeah.
can't have a show without talking about Taylor. so-
Right. So, Andy, what are you obsessed with?
Mine's kind of boring, but I'm obsessed with fresh fruit. I've been
That is
You
boring.
are.
Yeah, I love fresh fruit. I can't get enough honeydew and strawberries and blueberries and raspberries. I just
That's good for you.
and banana. Mhm.
So, speaking of theater, we need a review.
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
Real
So-
quickly.
Sally Ann and I went to see Beetlejuice the music last Thursday night. And let me preface this review by saying movies translated into musicals, it's hit or miss. The same thing with musicals that transfer to movies. Chicago, the musical, was a great movie. It's a great show and a great movie. Footloose, not so much. When it transferred to Broadway, not so much. And I have a really hard time with jukebox musicals, like Beautiful, the karaoke musical was great.
so good.
That was so good. But then there are other jukebox musicals, like All Shook Up, about Elvis Presley, which was stupid. The Ring of Fire with Johnny Cash, which was stupid. you know, it's either, and there's a Go-Go Girls Head Over Heels, which was again stupid. They closed early. They didn't make any money, but whatever. So I had never seen Beetlejuice the movie, so I watched it the week before, and I thought the movie was stupid. I thought I thought there is no way this musical is going to be good. No way at all. I don't see how this is going to translate to the stage or any songs. Um, so I went in, we sat down, we had great seats. We were on the fourth row in the center orchestra, and the musical started, and it was
Did you hold on? Did you have to tell anybody next to you at MS like you did the last time we were at the
No.
theater?
Thank God, no.
Not this time.
Go ahead. Sorry.
We'll relive that story in a minute. So the musical started, and it was fabulous. The guy that played Beetlejuice was amazing. The music was good. I didn't leave singing any songs. Normally, I say a musical is good if you leave singing at least one of the songs. If it's in your head, then they got you.
Job well done. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was pleasantly surprised. It's a great show. So if you're going to see it, it's here for another week and a half, I think. Go see it. It's a good, fun show. Sally, what'd you think?
Well, I had never seen the movie because the movie looked kind of stupid to me. So I never saw it. So I went in, completely unknowing anything it was about. And I was pleasantly surprised. It was very cute. The lead guy who played Beetlejuice, you know who you reminded me of, Andy? It took me a really long time. Charlie Day, is that his name? Do you know who I'm talking about? He was in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the terrible bosses.
Yeah.
The way he just kind of would yell about stuff,
Yeah.
he kind of reminded me, just his voice reminded me of him.
Right.
It was really cute. And then they had some really cute little jokes stuck in there. Like, I don't know if you remember in the beginning, he was like, I feel so invisible,
Yes.
kind of like a gay Republican or something
Yeah.
like that, like things like that. It was like, it was cute. It was like, Andy and I both really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And
I
they had some technical difficulties before it started. Like it was about 15 minutes late running, but yeah, you and Timmy are going, right? 'Cause
tomorrow
it's
night.
good.
Yeah, tomorrow
Yeah.
night. So
You're going to enjoy it.
good review.
You'll
then.
enjoy it. Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's-
Yay.
yeah.
I'm excited.
I
I
was
know
worried
who I heard enjoyed it. I heard Lauren Boebert enjoyed it too.
Oh.
She enjoyed it a little too much.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. I went there.
No.
Hope we're not looking for any sponsorship from her campaign.
Damn it. I have a call with them tomorrow.
It was good. It was good.
Good.
I
Well, I'm
recommend it. If
excited.
you got a chance to go see it this week, go see it because
Yes.
it's totally worth
I
it.
recommend it. It's worth your money. Go see it.
And if you have season tickets, do what Andy and I do. Upgrade your seats every week. Our seats are okay.
Yeah.
They're still, orchestra seats, but for every play, we get on there and scout around
Yep.
and find better seats.
I've
You end up
never
paying a little bit
Yeah.
extra money, but it's
In the-
totally worth it.
in the 3 years that I purchased a subscription, I've never sat in my seat for a musical.
No, we never
always move
sit.
up.
I don't even know if our seats are together even. So
I think we finally moved them together.
yeah. So our
but-
seats are together, but we never sit in our seats. We
Mm-mm.
were sitting on the fourth row this time, but they were
Yeah.
fabulous.
Hey, Eva.
Hi.
And for our entertainment pop culture, I'm going to introduce Eva as someone who loves a good scandal, even if she's involved. So,
Well. I'm a Pisces. I'm never involved in scandal.
Okay, Eva, what's going on pop culture wise?
Well, I just wanted to kind of do a little rundown of a few things that I noticed this past week. Of course, I do have to wrap up the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills since I've been talking about them the past few weeks. This past week was the finale, and Kyle finally, we've been waiting on pins and needles to see if they're separating or not.
Have we?
Well, it is what it is. But she finally, after the last 15 minutes of 17-hour-long episodes of the entire season, decided to say, yes, they are separating after almost 30 years of marriage. Boo, boo, boo. and they had this serious talk with their children, and they're all crying. I'm like, y'all are grown adults, girls. Like,
Mhm.
divorce happens. I
Yeah.
don't know. But yes, so I think she's getting a lot of flack because since apparently rumors are she's going to be making a magazine cover with a very special guest who would indicate that she might be a lesbian now.
Really?
So, yes.
Like a country music star?
Like
A country music star, yes.
like what magazine? Like
Okay.
Out magazine? Or
They haven't
something?
revealed yet, but apparently it's a big one. So I'm assuming it's like
Wow.
People Magazine or
Oh,
Katie Tunstall?
McCall's or something. I don't know. Is
McCall.
McCall still?
Do they still make McCalls?
I don't know.
That's so
we watched this.
funny.
We watched Capote the Swans, and I heard McCall's, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a good throwback."
I forgot about McCalls.
Or Women's
Ladies
Wear
and
Daily.
Journal, McCall.
Yeah, the Farmer's Almanac. I don't know.
wait, didn't McCall's make dress patterns? Isn't that what
Yes, they
McCall's
did
was?
patterns
Simplicity-
too.
simplicity
McCall,
patterns.
Simplicity, and Butterick. There was another one called Butterick.
Butterick.
Listen, my
Oh.
mom and my grandmother sewed. I spent many, many hours in
My mom
fabric
did
shops
too.
growing up. So yeah.
Oh my
That is
god.
a silk screen shirt from Butterick that my mom made. Oh. Big
Those are
I
the
love
three
it.
I remember:
Big time.
McCall's, Simplicity, and Butterick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Butterick. Oh god.
But no. So that was the end of the last 15 minutes of the episode, which we all saw it coming. If you didn't see it coming, then you're
You were
just
blind.
not paying attention, I guess. So next week, the next I think 2 or 3 weeks will be the reunion, and the reunions are really all you really need to watch because they do highlight what's happened, and you don't have to listen. You don't have to go through all that exposition. You just have to get to the highlight points. So apparently, she brings in some. She doesn't have anybody in her corner because she's been lying this entire season about what she's doing and everything.
Mhm.
So she brings in her sister, Kathy Hilton, Paris's mother. I heard Paris earlier.
Yeah.
And she brings her in as some sort of like backup for her and support and whatever. Well, we'll soon see what role she plays in and everything. So, but yes, that reality and Traders is on my list, so I will do some talking with that in the coming weeks once I catch up. It was Brandon, by the way, that kept asking us to watch it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks,
But,
Brandon. Yeah, because y'all
yes,
told me
thanks,
about it at
Brandon.
lunch that day. It's
Brandon,
good.
for you listeners, that's my brother, Brandon.
The little
Ba-
gay
ba-
brother.
the baby brown.
The baby brother.
Yes. And so that's reality TV, it's kind of in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch a little bit on music. Something very big happened over the past week. Beyonce became the first Black woman ever to have a #1 country hit song.
Yay.
I mean, can we believe that? But then I was thinking, well, she must be, were there any Black female country artists? I don't believe there are.
Yes.
I mean, I apologize if I don't know.
Her
Lady
name,
Annabella?
her name is Mickey Guyton.
Okay.
Mickey
Um,
Guyton.
Mhm.
Well, she didn't get the #1 hit. Beyonce did. So in 2024.
Is that a
Um,
competition?
And a line
well, it
dance.
kind of is.
And Beyonce got a
Hey,
line
she got a
dance.
dance. And
Well,
she got
here
a
we
dance.
go. So she debuted this week at the Hot 100, the pop at #2. She didn't quite get the #1, but I'm sure it'll be
Wow.
#1 because it's all over social media. Oh my gosh, you cannot not open Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook Live, Pitching Carrier Live, wherever. Carrier Pigeon Live, I apologize. Without seeing people reinterpreting that dance. And sometimes
But-
they're good, sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's like, go back into the kitchen and cook something.
I'm embarrassed
Make
now.
dinner.
Which dance?
The Beyonce line dance thing that they just do some line dance thing. I
I
don't know.
haven't seen it.
You've never seen it?
You haven't seen
Oh my
it?
gosh.
I have a
Okay,
different
so-
algorithm than you do.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You do. I've seen your
Yeah.
algorithm, and we don't need to discuss your algorithm.
I don't even want to know about his algorithm.
His algorithm is not my algorithm. Mine are wigs and Beyonce and just a side note. I know I've mentioned this before, but I'm Team Solange anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Cheap coattails.
But one thing, so that's the biggest thing that happened in music, and of course Taylor's not making music right now, but she's performing live in Sydney, and I've seen some of her concerts on my social media feeds, and there was this one concert in Sydney that she did where she I guess it was kind of a Make-A-Wish foundation type of thing, where this little girl who had, cancer, was sitting in the front row, and she just walks down the stage, and just goes up and gives her a big hug. And I was
Aw.
actually like taken to tears.
Oh yeah.
She's like so like into it
That's awesome.
and just
Yeah.
crying,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she gives her hat that she was wearing, and
Oh,
she's just like
Yeah.
stunned, and it did kind of make me tear up a little bit, because I was just like, oh, that's so sweet. But enough about Taylor. She's everywhere. But what I wanted to do, the final thing I wanted to talk about, was that it's award season. If you like that type of thing, the Oscar voting ends tomorrow, I believe, or
Oh, I
Wednesday.
gotta get my votes in. They asked
Yeah.
me this year, yeah.
So we'll find out who the winners are on Sunday, March 10th on ABC live. So I want to do an extra special Oscar special edition to recap the ceremony and see,
sure.
who that following Monday we record to see, the winners. I might not be able to make it up the entire ceremony, because that always goes on like 2 hours after it's supposed to be over. But I want to recap the winners, any speeches, and I also want to do a worst and best dress list.
Sure.
Because I love the fashion.
So you want your own show that week? Is that what you're saying?
Basically. Well, no, it'll be a condensed edition.
Do you need us at all that week? So
Probably, yeah, definitely, because I need your opinions. But
Eva, are you angry about Barbie's snub though?
by the way,
You guys are,
I
was hard
clocked
to
those the
keep you
first
guys
time I
on
saw
track,
her.
Anyway, back to
Bio Barbie the same as Cajun Barbie?
Charlotte's like, Charlotte's like, are we really going to talk about
Oh my
sports?
God. Like, it's an hour and 22 minutes. I've been sitting on here for 40 minutes waiting to get back to it. I'm not joining
Okay.
at 7:30 anymore.
No.
Anyway, amateur sports. So our started yesterday. We had our opening opening ceremony. Rangers captain, the mascot, was actually out there. He was out there last year. I don't actually know who's underneath who's in the costume.
They.
They're out there. Them. I don't know. I'm not 90, but I don't get prizes either. You can be whatever you want to be. I don't really care.
I'm
So
having
that was out
problems with
there.
your feed. Have you been canceled yet? I can't hear you.
I'm surprised. I wish you'd be the first one canceled on this thing. So that started yesterday. Our E team, which Eva is on, we went 1-1 yesterday. The first game, you could tell we had not had a lot of practices, or a lot of people had not been in
A
practice.
little dusty, a little dusty.
I think they call it a pants down spanking.
Yeah, it was
if you're
pretty
from
bad.
a small town, it was.
I think they call it a run rule.
Oh, y'all got run rolled?
We did.
We were
really?
losing 24
It was 24 to
1.
4. No, I think it was 4. We
Oh.
scored 4.
We
at
were
the
losing
end.
24-1. We got to the third inning, and in that third inning, our last batter, Ruben, in the lineup actually got a bat. So we did actually make it through the lineup once, and we scored a couple more runs. So it ended up being 24-4.
Wow.
And then the second game, they won 13-12. I had to leave early because I had to take care of the.
We came
older
from
Titans.
behind. We were down 4-8, and we had one really good inning where we batted all the way through, and we ended up scoring 9 runs. And
Nice.
we just,
As soon as I left, they started scoring. So I'm
We
going to
did.
stop.
Well,
I'm going to stop being there.
Well,
there's-
congrats.
yeah, thank you.
And so that 1-1, and then the Legends Titans, which Shannon and I are on, fared a little differently. First game was very similar to what happened to the Titans E team. We took a shellacking. It was bad. That they were hitting everywhere. We made a few bad plays, but in our second game, we were up quite a bit, and ended up losing 13-12.
Oh man.
Those are our exhibition. There's only 3 Legends teams, the 50 plus. So we those games we played yesterday don't count on our standings.
But we had them. We had them the second game.
The second game we had them. Yeah.
Ugh.
Second
Shannon dropped
game we
the
had
line.
them.
Shannon dropped the line drive. He shouldn't have dropped it short. I'll take credit for that.
So
oh, Shannon, I
I'm
thought
gonna-
you were saying Shiloh did. Shannon.
No,
did. Okay.
I did. I
yeah,
dropped
not
it.
me. Not me.
But I will agree with you what you said earlier. I can barely move today.
Mhm.
It's
Everything
real.
hurts.
The,
Everything
the
hurts.
struggle is
I only
real.
played like 2 innings, and I barely ran, and I was sore this morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, up next, our very special guest. I've known Kevin since 1994, I believe.
Yeah, 30 years.
The 30 years. He's the author of a book, Opening the Corporate Closet, and we're so happy to have him here. So welcome to our little dog and pony show, Kev.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you, my old
Yeah.
friend, my longtime friend.
Yeah, you wrote a book.
I
Oh,
wrote
you wrote a book.
Could you
Now-
could you believe that? Whenever we met back in 1994, when I was dating your friend, let's call him Dirk.
Nope. You wrote a book,
Sure.
and I remember you were the first one of us that had a cell phone, and you would go, buy, sell, buy, sell.
It was a Motorola flip phone. It was so heavy, and it had
Yep.
60 minutes of charge.
Yeah.
Yes, I
60
remember
whole
that.
minutes. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
And you lived in West Village? Is it West Village?
Lived in the
The
villages.
village.
The
The
village.
village.
The
The
village.
village.
The village.
I
Just
lived
the
in
village.
the village.
The village.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
That was
Oh.
the place to live back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, it was. I am telling you, and it's the sad thing is, I lived in the village, moved over to England, met my husband, brought him back over here years later, and I live about a mile and a half away from the village.
Yeah.
So, Kev, about this book, I think it's fantastic. I related to so much of it.
I was gonna say, Andy, I was gonna comment that as I'm reading it, I did a lot of yep,
Mhm.
same, yep,
Exactly.
like, I mean, not the fabulous experience of you moving to London and working over there and meeting your husband, but just like your story through growing up and college and
Yep.
first jobs, and because we're all around this similar age, right?
Yeah.
Where things were a lot different back then. But I was gonna say, Andy, I could relate to so many different things
Mhm.
as I'm reading it. It was crazy.
How did this book come about?
Well, it was funny. I was so I'm a retired partner with Ernst and Young, and a few years ago I was looking at one of those email announcements that come out where the leadership is talking about there's a change in leadership. Andy Jones is leaving this role and somebody new is coming into the role. And they always kind of talk about the experiences. And then the last paragraph is always Andy is married to his wife of 27 years and they have 3.2 children and so on. And I realized nobody looked like me.
Yeah.
It was so rare that you had a situation where somebody coming into a new leadership role would say, Kevin is married to his husband, and the whole notion of that really just jumped off of the email at me, and I started wondering how many of us are there out there in leadership positions, openly so, in corporate America. And I just started writing about my own experiences, doing some research and looking into it more and more. And so the book just kind of sort of organically grew out of this. I wonder how many people like us are out there in leadership positions.
Awesome. Still can't believe you wrote a book.
It is so funny. I mean, yeah, for the rest of you, Andy and I mean, we've known each other for 30 years, and a good friend of ours, the guy I was dating, wonderful guy. I joke about it. He was a wonderful guy. Andy and he were great friends, and we all just became wonderful friends because of that connection. And so I love
awesome.
the joy of longtime friends. And yeah, who would have thought, Andy? I mean, who would have thought, not just writing a book, but who would have thought we'd kind of have our lives evolve and grow and then come back together all these years later? And I love that.
I'm gonna be a little. Go ahead, Andy. I'm gonna be a little honest, Kev. And thank you for the book. Thank you for sending it to us.
Yes.
And by the way, you can buy this. You can buy this on Amazon for a soft cover or your Kindle. So go buy one right now. I was a little bit worried that there was gonna be, because we don't know each other, and I've thought, oh, I hope this isn't self-righteous. I hope it isn't. But what I really enjoyed about the book, you're very honest. Like you talk about, opportunities that you've taken or missed opportunities. You're a little self-deprecating. You're very real in the book, which is really great. I was really excited to read that because when you get one of these books like this, sometimes you're like, okay, they're going to preach at me for 200 pages about what I'm doing wrong in my corporate role. But I really appreciate that you were very honest with, hey, I've made some mistakes in this process too, and I'm still making mistakes, and I think that's okay, right? And how did you feel like you were kind of exposing yourself a little bit by admitting some of these things that you're like, I wish I hadn't done that?
What a great question. And I'm going to answer the last part first. I have no regrets about anything I said. There's nothing I said that I wish I hadn't done.
Right.
The flip side of that is, if I had it to do over again, I think I'd be even more like I'd strip even more away. There was so much more. Like I've heard, and it really shocked me, and sadly. But I've heard from so many people who said I can connect with this book, and it brought back my own kind of raw memories, my own experiences, my own whatever. And I was writing the book really for me at the time, but if I had it to do over again, I think I would probably go a little bit deeper into some of the shitty times. And bring that out more, knowing that those were the bits that I think resonated with people.
Well, if you do another book, you could talk more about some people you left out in the first book, like
Oh, Andy, you would be a whole chapter, my friend.
And I don't know if you know, but he has MS now. So
yeah, for
that's
those of
something else you
for
can-
those of you just
Ms. Magazine, right? Yeah, sorry, I always
Yeah,
forget.
yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll remember that.
I love
I will say I found it to be an easy read. It's somebody who like I thought it was an easy read, and there were parts that there was one part where you talked about it, and I never, obviously being a straight girl, never thought about there are things you choose to talk about, which and things you don't, but it's like keeping it straight, right? Like how much have I shared with this person and how much have I shared with that one? And I didn't even think about that, like how hard that has to be, because you're you don't really want to live like a lie, and the people that know you socially that are okay with it, but then there may be somebody that's not, and you've got to kind of watch what you say. And I realize that that's a kind of a tightrope you're walking, really, to make sure you keep everything straight. So yeah.
And it is, and it's the gay decision diamonds. And we can just get so exhausted thinking about who knows what, and you go from one decision diamond to a next.
Yeah.
Do they know this? Yes, no, no, then this, yes, then this. And if you're process oriented like I am, that decision diamond thought really resonated with me, because you spend all of that time thinking about that. And in any conversation, you may go through half a decision diamonds in your brain in like 6 seconds before you figure out what kind of conversation it's going to be based on what you believe that person knows and how they'll react. Until you get to the point, hopefully, where we all are, where we just don't care anymore. Yeah. But if you do, those things do matter, and they matter for all sorts of reasons. Shannon, to your point, I'm not here to judge. I cannot walk in anybody else's shoes. And if that's not information you want to share, that's your call. That's your story to tell. And I draw on my own experiences, remembering, again, how emotionally and mentally exhausting it is to try to remember all of that so that you're keeping all your stories straight at the same time.
Yeah, I think, well, just for a little history, how Sally Ann and Andy know each other is we worked for a company back in the early 2000s, which was at the .com boom, right?
Yeah.
And so I think really what the impacts of that is, we worked in a company that was very small, it was very young, it was very progressive socially. And I think one of the ways I went from a very conservative insurance company to that where I wasn't out at all, didn't even talk to my good friends at work about any of my social life, going into an environment where you could be yourself and it was encouraged, was a huge factor. And, we all worked there for a few years, 5 or 6 years, some of us shorter.
Traveled together. Yeah.
Traveled together, did all that. And that's when you really understand that you can be yourself in this corporate environment.
Yeah.
And I think even me going after that under my other jobs, Bank of America, it's my company now, it gave me the confidence to say, hey, I'm not doing this anymore. This is what it should be, the environment, and taking that to my next job and the next. And I I say that because I feel very lucky that I was able that early to get an environment like that is very welcoming, so I could take it forward in my career. And some people just don't get that at all. And I think that's what the really sad thing is they don't have that opportunity to experience a job that you can be yourself and talk about your, as come to your work as your true self, as you say, right?
And like you were saying, Shannon, like working for a small kind of progressive company like that, and then Kevin, your experience working, for E&Y, a little bit stuffier than I would say where we were at the time, for sure. So
yeah, and it's such an interesting point. Like once you get a taste of freedom, almost for lack of a better term, you get that taste of being out, being totally open, being free to be who you are. If you have to then decide in your next job or your next phase of your life, whatever those circumstances are, if you're even faced with the possibility of having to inch yourself back into the closet even a little bit, you are challenged in that how beautiful it can be, and now you're having to make some conscious decisions, but you are also kind of saying, I know, regardless of the decision I make in this next phase of my life, I know how wonderful it can be. And hopefully that motivates most of us to say, I'm not going back in the closet again.
I love the way, switching gears real quick, I love the way that you described your high school.
could you relate to that, Andy?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh my God, I had that locker. And it smelled like this.
Yeah.
And walking down the halls.
Or knew the kid that got picked on.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Keith, for.
Poor Keith.
Yeah.
And there was one reference, I forget where it is. You quoted Barry Manilow. Faded feathers in her hair.
Oh yeah.
Let's get out of there.
The dress tank.
Yes. Did you have to pay for that?
Don't tell anybody. If Barry Manilow wants to sponsor us, don't tell anybody.
I'm calling Barry right now. I want to ask you, Kevin, because these guys already know kind of where I stand on this.
Oh boy.
What is your stance on pronouns?
Oh.
So I have a complementary perspective on this. The first part is I want to respect whatever people want to be called. And if you are a they, I want to call you a they. I want to honor what matters to you. And I'm going to say without apology, as an older guy, my brain doesn't function as well as it used to.
Thank you. I'm going to agree with you.
So if I get the pronoun wrong, please look at me as coming from a well-intentioned space and extend grace to me to educate me on the pronouns you want to use, and patience with me, and not indignance that I got it wrong. If I get it wrong twice, maybe that's a different thing, but I want to honor the pronouns, and I also want to be given grace to get it wrong.
You're not intentionally
I'm not doing
messing up, right?
Yeah, I'm not doing any passive aggressive approach to going, screw you, you're a woman, you're a she.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's what's important, right? I mean, and most of my experience recently, I'm the president of our Pride ERG, so we, are all about inclusivity and all that. But, we have a person on our board who is they, right? And so in the meetings, when I refer to them, I have to remember to use they instead of she, which I'm working on. And one day I didn't, right? I called she. And so I called them, right afterwards, and see, I did it again. I said, I am really sorry. I know that I use, and they were like, it's okay. I totally understand. Thank you for recognizing it. I know it's not easy, and so I think in our corporate world this day, I think there's a lot of it's a woke culture. People are understanding if they use different pronouns, at least in my experience, and they're willing to say, hey, I totally get it. Hey, we're working on it. This is something new. And so I think it is hard, but for me, it's my responsibility to work on it. And then as long as I'm working on it and doing my best, that's what's important to me, because it is important to people that you work with. So.
And Shannon, I love the way you said that, because we talk about LGBTQ and allies. And what I also believe, I believe that's absolutely true. And what I also believe is that we can also be allies with each other within the different letters.
Right.
And I think what you're just describing is a beautiful opportunity to be the ally for someone whose voice may not be heard on their own or may not be as amplified on their own. You have an opportunity to learn, to get that grace extended to you, and also be an ally in the sense of amplifying the importance of using the pronouns that people prefer. Right. And so we can be gay, and we can be allies to the non-binaries, to the transgendered, even within our own community. And I think that's just a perfect example of what you're doing.
Yeah, and we're hiring a new position on my team, and the applicant that we're going to be choosing goes by they them pronouns, and so their manager, who's 3 levels below me, has already, in referring to them, used the correct pronoun, which is a straight white guy from Rochester, New York. And it's one of those things where people will learn, people will make an effort, they understand the importance, and so it's not hard, right? It is hard sometimes, but it's important in corporate America today if you want to build that inclusive environment. So
it is. And I think the other thing about that, I'm so much a believer in, we in corporate America can be on the inclusive side of it. And the be and the belonging is about helping those people truly feel like, through our inclusive efforts, they now feel like they truly belong in that culture. And so I think so important to what you're talking about is making sure we're all doing our part from a culture perspective to allow those individuals to perceive that that belonging is authentic.
Right.
Okay, and also when I was reading the book, poor Simon and all his visa drama. Oh my gosh.
Do what you say?
All his
The
visa drama.
I know.
I think you had to go through
I was
so
like,
much
how
shit.
ridiculous was that? Yes.
Oh, and poor Simon. I think about it now, and I think from a macro perspective, each generation does things to make it better for the next generation. So just like Stonewall did for us, we are making it better for the next generation, so they don't have to go through what Simon went through. But in the moment, it was really crappy because he couldn't come here just on the nature of our relationship, and we had to create this whole scenario. I mean, it was a great experience for him going to SMU. In the book, we talked about the only way Simon could come over here was through immigration, was to get a student visa. And for your listeners, and so the notion of this was, couldn't come over simply because he and I were in love and had been together for years and wanted to come back to Texas at the time. And so the irony is, immigration would tell you, we're not discriminating against you based on the fact that you're gay. We're simply telling you that the immigration laws are saying that you can only come over in the way that you wish if you're married, and you can't get married. Has nothing to do with the fact that you're gay. It's simply that there's no marriage allowed for 2 men, which, again, a little bit of a 1984 Orwellian type of logic that goes on there. But we recognize that's our reality, so we had to come up with another way. And so Simon came over as a student. But I think the part that you're talking about is the interview at the U.S. Embassy in London, where Simon had to go and be interviewed for his visa. And the woman interviewing him basically said, "I don't believe you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give you the visa anyway." And it was so stressful because it was 4:30 in the morning here, 10:30 in London. And I'm waiting for Simon to call me, and I just didn't get it. And I think I actually said in the book, to the horror of my mother, that I was chain smoking. To call. But he finally called and told me all this. And I thought, this is just so stupid. But we did what we needed to do. And Simon's here. And all these years later, we got married. We have this wonderful life. And I do hope that for the next generation, God willing, depending on the outcome of the 2024 election, we don't ever go backwards.
Yeah.
I know you're probably mourning your pretend future wife Joanne and her
And the kids.
and the junior league that she
You're
was
such a great hostess, right?
right, great hostess. But I was going to say,
Fabulous, Joanne.
you've got Simon, who I'm sure is just as good as a host than Joanne would have ever
That
been.
Joanne would have been, yeah.
Yeah, so I know you're mourning that, but we're glad you ended up with Simon instead of Joanne.
That's
we would not have a book if you
we would not have a book. Yeah.
You wouldn't have a book. I will say Joanne has set a super high bar that I hold Simon to. And sometimes there's a little bit of tough performance feedback that goes on.
Wow.
I don't. I guess Simon isn't emptying ashtrays like you figured Joanne would do at parties. Right?
No,
So.
and he can't pull off the scarves around it. You tied back with tied his hair back either.
Oh yeah, because you were always going to buy Joanne fabulous scarves, right?
Joanne had the most fabulous scarves. She could put Carol Brady to shame with her hair parties.
Oh my
I know
God.
a cute scarf can make an outfit though.
Yeah.
So
Shelly-Ann should know. She's
a cute scarf and a maxi dress that looks like a quilt, and she is.
How far is too far? How far is too far to take all these pronouns and not say Alaska, they're Inuit and indigenous and him, her, he, she, they, we, us. How far is too far? Because people, I hear people already saying, when is this going to end?
It's never going to end, right? This is like you want to be who you are, right? Like you're going to identify with whatever you identify. And if you want to be called cat turd, then you're going to be called, right? I mean, that's extreme, but
yeah.
you get to pick what you are. So
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I was going to relay just real quick. I was going to relay this to sort of a scientific term or scientific way because I'm a scientist, and it's the evolution of humans. I mean, everyone thinks that. I mean, I believe in evolution. It's not a widespread, common thing, but we're constantly evolving, and evolution hasn't stopped. It's going to keep going and going. And I think this is just the evolution of our community, the evolution of us as people. And I don't think it's ever ending. It's never going to end. And I think that it's great because it's growth and you see different aspects of it. I believe in the pronoun thing. I am very cautious, to want to educate myself, and I've used the term geriatric millennial. I was born in the early 80s. I'm not quite Gen Xer. I'm not quite full millennial. I'm kind of in the cusp.
That's a whole nother show. That's a whole
nother show. But it's easier for me, I think, because we had to adapt to not only the way that things were before, but also like the computers and all of that stuff. So I think that with myself, at least myself included, I'm able to pick up quickly on it. And I definitely want to make sure that I use the right pronouns because it's not going to change. And I think that's great, honestly. So.
Well, and I love what you said there because, and Andy, to your point, like the question of where does it end?
Mm-hmm.
Tying that into what Eva said about the evolution, there is no end, and I think it's where, like, as we get older, the neuroscience says our brains take longer to form new neural pathways. They take longer to sort of rewire and restructure, and so we get kind of tired of trying to think about what is the right language, what is the right terminology, because physiologically our brains are struggling harder to actually do that. Mm-hmm. And so I think, to your point, what I hope is, in the process of recognizing that we are continually evolving, I hope that I am at least extending the same courtesy to this next generation that people extended to us when we were younger.
Yeah,
agreed.
And I think that's the hard part, is there's no right or wrong answer. It's what is the spirit of what's intended, and how how much do we want to move it forward for the next generation?
I mean, the book is about corporations and work. That is what the new generation expects. They are coming into the workforce, and that is what they expect. And if you are going to adapt in a corporate environment, you need to adapt as well. And it is what it is. And when we talked about, we would never jump to a company if we had to go back to the closet. You know, the kids coming out of college, they go to websites and they say, what is your policy on this? What is your policy on that?
Yeah.
It matters, right? It
absolutely matters.
And if you want to recruit good people, you're going to have to learn to change your corporate actions and your corporate engagement, because that's what, you know, newer generations expect. It's just a fact.
And Shannon, you know, I'm solidly Generation X, and so
me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
We need like a support group.
Yeah.
So, you know, who's latchkey kid? Me. So I think this whole idea of so in my case, so I'm a leadership coach now, got all these wonderful certifications and training, and love doing it. But a lot of the people I'm working with now are Gen X leaders, or maybe millennials. They're moving into some pretty solid leadership roles now, where they're struggling to different degrees with exactly what you're talking about, Shannon. This next generation, they're going to websites, they're checking out all of these social issues, which are important, and they want to see what organizations' clear positions are on those things. And as leaders who are now leading generations or directing generations who are 20 years, 25 years younger than them, I am seeing these themes in my own coaching practice where they are struggling not only to relate in general, and that's just been since the beginning of time when you've got cross-generational differences in the workplace. They are so struggling to understand how to use language that resonates while being true to themselves. And so a lot of this is going back to this notion of admitting vulnerability. Because I think leaders, especially baby boomers, older Gen X, we grew up in a corporate environment that wasn't about being vulnerable. It wasn't about being empathetic. It wasn't about those emotions. It was about being a strong and decisive leader. And anything less than that was seen as a point of weakness.
Yep.
And now the next generation wants to see that vulnerability. They want to see that empathy. They want to see that authenticity. And so it's that tension between how we grew up in corporate America and what the next generation wants to see from us now.
Yep, definitely.
And just to clarify, even the training I do, because I think it's a
Well,
I think it'll be interesting to see, you know, as I get older, you know, as my field starts recruiting new scientists and doctors, you know, and where I work, it'll be interesting to see that's not going to be, hopefully it's not going to be an issue for them, because this is what they've grown up with. This is, you know, the pronouns. You know, my nephew's 12, and he's even told me, you know, pronouns, and that's what they're teaching, at least, you know, in my experience. And it's just not gonna be an issue, I think, one day. And there's never going to be a question of, like, you know, like Andy said, what is too far? It's never. I mean, it's limitless. I mean, it's just gonna. I think it's great. So
yeah.
So
yeah, I love that.
So Kevin, of all the things I learned in your book, which are numerous, so please go pick it up if you're listening. Go read it. It's amazing. The one thing I have to call out that I learned a new term in your book. We used to call this sidewalk sale, but your 2 o'clock eyes have got to be the best.
2 o'clock eyes.
2 o'clock eyes.
Awesome.
When the bars close, and 2 o'clock eyes.
Who's not coupled up, right? The 2 o'clock eyes. That's...
Oh, the desperation, the scent of desperation at JR's around in the morning.
You could smell the desperation.
The lights go on and everybody panics and scurries into
Scatters.
the rooms like roaches.
2 o'clock eyes. That is we're gonna
That
use
was
that.
funny.
Let's be clear. I haven't been out till 2 o'clock in a long time, but I love that.
I love
Last
the
night.
term.
Thank you.
Last night.
Thank you.
No, but
All right.
we have a condo right. I'm sorry. We have a condo right behind the roundup, so you can actually see it on the street walking. You can hear the desperation.
So it's still like that. Okay.
It's still like that. You can also hear the screaming and the yelling.
Right.
Yeah, we've all been there screaming and yelling too.
We've all been there.
Oh, I do not miss the drama.
Oh.
Can I change the subject real quick and go back
Yeah.
to the book?
Yeah,
Because I have
yeah,
one question.
sorry.
Because Kevin, like all of our 5s of 10s of listeners maybe have not read the book. And so tell us and tell them a little bit about your current career as a leadership coach, right? Like how you got into that and what all that's about. Because people might be interested in that.
Oh, thank you. So in my last few years at EY, I was responsible for developing our leadership service offering to mid and large level organizations. And as part of that, we focused on leadership development, change management, culture change, strategic workforce planning, all of those buzzwords in corporate America and consulting. But what I realized in my own career was I knew I was going to be coming into retirement, and I started seeing how passionate I was and noticing how my energy shifted to helping leaders identify what's getting in their way of being more effective. I always say, what got you here won't get you there. And so from my own perspective, as I was working with my clients, I was sensing that I really got a passion and energy out of helping them identify those roadblocks. And so short-winded, long-winded way of saying, I don't ever say anything short. Simon says, land the plane. But I realized that coaching was something I was really passionate about. I had a coach myself, a leadership coach myself. And so the firm paid for me to get my coaching certification. I got a couple of additional certifications. And so when I retired, I set up my own coaching practice focused on the LGBTQ community and their allies. Not exclusively so, because I think anybody can be an ally. And sometimes in those coaching relationships, maybe somebody who came into it as not even an ally learned something about themselves as well, but primarily LGBTQ and allies. And so I've been doing that for a little bit over a year now while I was getting the book sort of off the ground and published. And so I have the most amazing opportunities now as a leadership coach to work with people in so many different industries and different parts of their own leadership journey.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the
you.
stories.
I love
the stories you included in the book from that leadership coaching. I thought they were really important, different sides of what you were sharing from those different. Yeah, so that's great.
Well, and and I think maybe each of you, we all have different experiences. We bring our collection of our work experiences with us now. What I realized, as conservative as EY can be, EY was this wonderful DEI bubble. I mean, we had a great ERG network across the firm. It's called Unity. But I realized as I'm coaching some of these people, their experiences are very different to an EY, where again, people can feel very comfortable asking them if they can pray over them. In the middle of and I'm like, well, did you talk with HR about it? Well, that was the HR person, right? I realized how different and how lucky those of us are who were able to find a place in corporate America where it really didn't matter anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I was a little troubled. But I finished
something you didn't
chapter.
mention him somewhere.
No, just the reflections. I felt like I was taking a test.
The reflections.
Did you pass?
And I was
Kevin,
going to get graded on all those questions.
Kevin, you were making him think. Stop making Andy think when he's reading his book.
Andy, they were open book.
I know, but it was hard.
But it's so funny. I think almost every one of those questions throughout the book is something that I have asked a coaching client, or somebody has actually asked me
Yeah.
over recent years.
I loved it. I love the entire book. I mean, you really did a great job of covering everything. I mean, soup to nuts.
Oh,
It was
that's
great.
thank you.
And it was very insightful. It was very, for me to learn. I learned a lot by reading it and what my friends may have experienced in their corporate life.
Well, I have to say, I am so I so appreciate you guys reading the book and asking me these questions. I do. I love talking about it, but I also love hearing which parts affected and impacted each of you in different ways. So, I genuinely thank you for sharing your thoughts with me on what you thought about it.
No, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming
Yeah,
and hanging
thank
out
you.
with us. This was
Yeah.
awesome.
You've been a great.
And we
love-
appreciate you knowing your assignment of you're over and obsessed with too.
You're
That's
perfect.
Very
You're
important.
perfect.
That's very
I have
important.
a really quick
And
question.
you had a cocktail. You had a signature cocktail with you.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, I still got my bottle. Slow gin. Yeah, I highly
Can I
recommend it.
ask-
Kevin, thank you so much for coming in. We would love to have you back
Thank you.
for a guest.
So nice
co-host
to meet
sometime
you.
if you
Yeah.
like.
You
too. It was very nice to meet you.
And I would love to crash one of your brunches or parties.
Yes,
sometime.
we'll get Tex-Mex. Everybody,
Yeah, we'll get Tex-Mex on the weekend. We'll go to
E-bar,
Kentucky,
E-bar.
get some ribbon and go have Tex-Mex.
E-bar.
Just some E-bar.
And will you come back and co-host sometime?
I would love to. Thank you. Anytime
Fantastic.
you guys want me back, I would love it.
That's assuming we're going to stay on the air for any length of time. That's
going to take some careful editing.
He's going to help us get at least a few more episodes.
Okay,
Right?
there
It's
you
very
go.
credible.
All I'm going to say right now is we are quickly approaching 1,000 downloads and views.
Wow.
Really?
And how many negative comments? Just one?
Just one.
Just the one.
Just one. So
Just one
for you.
Oh, I remember you said somebody gave you a 1 star. But
I know who that was, by the way.
I think we all know.
Oh no, that was a few weeks ago. That was 1 star. That was after the first episode.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Before your lawsuit.
Have you checked the children? Oh God. But out of 1,000, that is pretty remarkable.
That's good.
And so truly, I want to do everything I can to get this out to my followers.
As soon as I get it edited, I'll send you the link to the download and to the YouTube, and we'll go from there.
I love it. I love it. Thank you all so much. And Andy,
Thank you, Kevin.
What a beautiful testament to an old friendship.
All right, kids, that's a wrap on episode 5.
That's a wrap.
Yay.
Thanks again, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
I had so much fun.
Cheers.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.